Hey everyone, in this video I'm going to show you how to build the dies from the In the Garden set. Now if you've been with me from the very start of Made to Surprise, you will recognise some of these images, but it was part of the Twist and Pop die set, so you had a mechanism with this and lots of people just wanted the die set, so after all these years we brought it back. And you've got some of the original elements as well in the stamp set there as well. Loved the bees, they're really popular, but we've got some new sentiments in there as well. And then we've got new images, the Wellington boots, the lawnmower. We've supersized the grass, we've got the chair there, and I like the addition of the hose as well. I think that's quite cute. We've also supersized Collall the caterpillar as well, so now you've got the pair, which is quite sweet. So you can see I've die cut everything all here, and I've said it in all of the videos, when you get any of your die sets, whether they're mine or another brand, just spend some time just building them all and actually get them all ready, and then put them in a little box or a little bag or something, and then you've got them ready to use on your cards. So I'll start off with the lawnmower here, so you can see I've done a few different colours, and it's just basically paper piecing really and layering it all up, all different parts. So I've gone and cut it already in black because there's elements of that I need. I've got some silver there as well. I've also then cut it in pink because I'm going to have a pink lawnmower. And then what I've done here is I've got two pieces of cardstock, and you just want to create a solid outline of the die. So if you cut two together, it will cut through the top one, but it will cut the outline of the one underneath, which is what you need to then build up everything. Everybody's die machine is going to be different, so yours may cut through both layers, so you might just have to play around. I've got the Big Shot, and this is 300 GSM cardstock, and it just cuts through enough so you'll see they both pop out, which is what you want. Oh, a little bit caught there. And then if you just peel the top one off like so, you see you'll get all these bits as well that are still attached. Just kind of pick them off. I like to just use my little pokey tool just to pick off the other bits. I've had bits of cardstock all over my craft room. So now we've got this solid piece. Like I said, keep that. So I'm actually going to probably cut this top section off here, because you can see I've added white elements onto them there, so I'll probably use that one again in a minute. But now having that solid piece means that I can take the black one here, and maybe I'll do this differently. Maybe I'll do full pink. Yeah, we'll do this one a bit different. So I'm going to pop all of this out like so, and I'm going to stick that back over the top. And having the solid piece there means we've got a base to stick all of these, or paper piece, all these pieces back in again. So I'm going to add my glue over this one. And your base colour doesn't have to be white, it can be any colour. You might want to do it in black, so then you've already got these pieces black, so you don't have to paper piece the black. So, the colour that you have at the bottom will vary. I'm just choosing to use the white. Get that down. And then I'm going to add my glue all in here. I choose my little pickup tool for a lot of this as well, because it's just easier to place everything. So now that's going to go back in there. Put that one out. And then I want to do the silver. So I do what you can do. See on that one there, I've added silver into the wheel itself. But then on these ones I've cut it out. So you can cut any element of this. So I'm going to follow the shape of the wheel and just remove it. So now I can paper piece the wheel back over there, and then this one I'm just going to run my glue just around the wheel. You only need a tiny little bit of glue for all these details, tiny bit there, but it does pull it all together. Actually, I've lost the pink one, so I'm going to add some glue on top of that one again, and I'm going to add black in the middle. If you sit this over the top and just push that one, or the one that you need, and it will line up perfectly. I'll hold this up to the camera close in a minute. If you get any glue on your mirrored card, just buff it off with your finger, some paper towel. So you can see it's all coming together quite nicely, but like I said, I think I'm going to add the white. So this one, if you just snip either side, it's already cut most of it, but that one is going to go along there. And then I'm also going to do this one a bit different, just to show you different. You can literally, this is what paper piecing is, you just snip any part away. I'm going to have that on there, and then what I might do is add, actually no, I'm going to curve that bit just so I can keep the handle pink but have all of that white. And that is how you paper piece your lawnmower. So like I said, get your base one where you cut through 2 pieces so you've got that solid image or outline, and then you just paper piece whatever colours you want. Okay, next we'll do the robin. So I've got 2 bits of black card here. I'm going to cut that out first. Again, whatever colour you want to use. Okay, so there's my solid background. So I wanted the eye to be black and his legs, like these ones here. So now I can just add my glue all over. Yeah, don't need to worry about the legs. And then I've cut it again in craft card, but I've snipped the legs off. So now I can just stick that one over the top. A little bit more glue there, and then I cut it again in the red for his chest there. And that's just your quick robin, but swap out that colour. Add browns, yellows, blues. You can create other little birds as well. The way I've done that is the same for the bees as well. So I've not done every single element here. The flowers, they're all the same. You see I've got a solid white piece there, and then I've just paper pieced the different colours on top. Next, the wheelbarrow. So you can see I've got a few here, pretty easy. I've also inked some of them as well. So I've cut that with a blue card, but then I've added a darker blue. I just think it completely transforms it. So I've done one in white just as my base really, then I've cut it because I'm going to do a green wheelbarrow, so I'm going to snip off the handle, the support there, and also the wheel. Then I'll ink that up and stick that one onto there. Then I've cut, oh that's it, then I'm going to stick the silver on top. It just makes it nice and strong as well. That's why I like to layer up. They're like little chipboard pieces. So then I'm going to stick that one on, then I'm going to stick that one on top after I've inked it up. Then I cut just the wheel in black, so I'm just going to snip a little piece off there. That's going to go on top. And then if you want to add, like, to make it look like a rubber handle that's matching, you can take the end of the handle, cut it wherever you want, snip it about there, and then I can stick that one up there, and it looks like you've got a little handle as well. So I'm just going to ink it up with a little bit of Rustic Wilderness, and then I'll stick that all down. And that's how the wheelbarrow looks when it's all stuck down. It was really cute. So then I've got the Wellington boots. So you see you've got your left and your right. I've done them this way so that you can do this style. So you can have them, and you want them kind of like this on the side, or you can then cut 2 of the same, whether it's left or 2 of the right, and you can have them stacked that way together as well. So it's up to you, you've got the option. So for this, I've already done 2 in the pink that way. I thought if I show you another way. So again, you just take 2 bits of card, depending on what colour you want your polka dots. I'm going to do white again and cut that together. Again, just take the top one off, and it will leave the bottom one with just the outline, and then you might just have to just find a pokey tool, quite handy to just flick off those top bits. You'd almost think they're glued on. They get compressed so strong, so much when you run it through your die machine. But you can also leave them on, but they will fall off over time. There we go. So again, now I've got that solid background. I'm just going to add a little bit blending to the bottom there, and then I can just add my glue to the back here. And there's our little Wellington boot. Next, I'll do the watering can. So where are those? I've got quite a few. Why can't I see where they are? Here. So I've kept them all silver, and then I've just changed this part of them. Now, if you want to, you could do them all in silver and just paper piece them back in. I think these look nice. If you're going to do all silver, you could maybe paper piece these with like a silver glitter card, which looks really nice as well. So we're going to do a green version. So I've cut it in green there. Cut it in silver. Now you could just stick the green onto the silver if you wanted to, but obviously you've got the gaps and the pieces will fall through. If you're going to stick that directly onto a card blank on the front of your card, then you don't need to do this part. It's just I like to make them as, like I said, little pieces of ephemera. So by having that solid piece or double layer, just gives you that nice piece to work with. So I've got my 2 pieces again. I'm just going to run that one through. Okay, I just actually used my cutting knife just to get these bits out, but it has kind of cut through, but it's like holding on enough for you to build everything on. So like that one there, if I just, push my knife down a bit more, that would pop out. And you'll see I just took the top off there by accident, but it doesn't matter because this is just going to go right over the top anyway. and then I've got those solid sections to be able to piece the green in. Run your glue over the whole thing because you'll need glue in those areas in a minute when you stick the green in. Again, all down there as well. And then you can just sit these again, lay that down over the top if you want. And you can just push the pieces out that you want. Okay, and there's our little green watering can. Do these two together. So this one here, I cut it in white card and then I cut it again in craft card. So again, it's nice and strong. And then I've just cut the top there in silver, and you'll see there's like a little bit of detail where you can cut across just to make that a bit neater. You can just see it in there. And then I'm going to stick that over the top. So it gives you that metal effect. You can see the others here. I've done a couple. Got one in the darker brown there as well. So that's how they look. And then you'll see I've got all the different colour shears here. And this one I'm going to do with a black insert. So I've cut it in the silver already, but I need my solid kind of base. So I've got my white card again. Just going to cut that one. Again, just take the top layer off and the bottom there. You've got your solid there. Now I can add my glue all over. Stick the silver one on and then lay the black one over the top, or whatever colour you're using. And then I can just line up and push those pieces in. Didn't line that one up as well, but that's okay. Just pull that one down. And there we go, another fork, and there's the black version there. Oh, I did have the flowers. Sorry, I said I didn't have an example to show, so I can do that one. And I've also got the plant pot there as well. So we'll do the tree next. So you can see I've got a few different ones here, but I really like the one with the raised elements there. So I'm going to do that with the red this time. So I've got, again, 2 pieces of cardstock there so I can create my base. Pop that one out, take the top, take all those off. Then I've cut it again in craft card. Actually, no, first of all, when I stick the green down, so I've cut it now in green. And I'm probably going to piece those back in because I want you to see green behind the red, whereas there you can see where I didn't, and you've got the white, which isn't a bad thing. I think it just adds a little bit of interest, but I'm going to change it a little bit here. So I'm going to cover this all and then going to snip off a little bit there. You could have that brown as well if you want. I'm just going to keep mine green, maybe like a little shrub more than a tree. It's up to you. Stick that one on there and I'll ink that up in a bit. And then I'm going to just piece these back in again, just because I want that different background. They are the same shape. One's a little bit smaller, but I think all the rest are the same. So it is easy to place them in there. And then I've just got some foam pads. This is optional, you don't need to. Place those over each of these and then stick the red ones on top. And then to ink it up, I've just used Vintage Photo Distress Oxide. That looks nice with the craft card. But again, that's optional as well. I've stuck that all down and I'm just going to add a little bit of this is the Rustic Wilderness again, just around the edges. Do this probably before you stick everything down. I just think, like I said, adding the ink just gives it a bit more depth and a little bit more interest. And there is a very cute little shrub, tree, apple tree. Can be whatever you want. I think they look good, but I do like them. Those little elements 3D, I think they're quite cool. And I'll talk you through these last bits together. So I think this one I've already cut the base piece in the white. Yeah, so that one has already been cut. And then I've cut it again in the blue and the green. So the green I want to stick down on top so it keeps the whites. And then I'm going to just snip each flower like so. And then I'm going to take out the middle and then sit that over the top. So I've got blue plants, flowers. You can see I've got my orange there. I've done the white, yellow, pink, and these sit perfectly in your plant pot. So if you just push that in behind, you'll see you've got an instant little plant pot there. So I'll stick that one all down in a second. And then with this one, again, same way. So I've cut it in white because I want a white. I've done them all the same. I want the white plant pot. I think that looks quite cute. And then I'm going to make my base. So I've done green because the majority of it is going to be green, the leaves and everything. So run that one through and just carefully pop that one out. Then I've got the white one, so I'm going to snip off. So that is going to stick back over the top. I'm just going to add a little bit of grey ink to the bottom and then I'm going to paper piece the silver just into the little detail there, just so it gives it a little shine, a little bit of interest. This could be obviously different colours, but you can get the idea. I need to stick that down, so I'll stick that on there, stick them all down. Okay, and there's another little plant pot. So I just talked through a few of the others. They all work the same way. So how I did the fork there is how you can do your little rake, and again the same with the spade there as well. The hose, I've just cut that in one colour, and then I just cut the gun part, I guess, with the silver card there. I've done that one. Little Collall the caterpillar, he's the same. So I've got my solid back piece, and then I just cut it again in green, popped all the detail out, so that allows the white to come through. That's the same with the ladybug, the snail. There is a different colour brown in the detail there, so it's a solid piece that I cut through on, and then I just cut it again in craft card and pop that out. The chair is just easy, just cut a couple there just to layer them up so it's nice and strong. But I think that is everything. So hopefully, again, that has helped you out. If you've watched the first one where I show you how to put together the magic set with a little bit of luck, it's all the same. And then the next one I'm going to be showing is this one here, the Hoorah. So you'll be able to see how I paper piece and build that one as well. All three of these are available over on the Craft World website. All that information is shared in the description box below. And like I said, I hope you found this video useful. See you in the next one.